And hello, my name is Céline Jennison. I am founder of Anato, a regenerative wellness brand. And today I am going to be talking about plants that I use to help boost my immune system. I'm going to talk to you about my background story and then just go through a couple herbs. You might have some of them on hand and you might not. And I'm also going to talk about the ways to incorporate these plants, how to actually use them so they're effective. So when I was a kid, about 10 years old, I was diagnosed with an immune deficiency. I kept on getting sick. Bronchitis, colds, runny nose, throat infection, everything. And nothing was helping me. I just go to the doctor and come back with my mum and just get some paracetamol, and I was told to go to bed. And it was really frustrating. I actually kind of enjoyed going to school and learning, and I wasn't able to. I would be late with my homework, and it was just so stressful playing catch up. So my mum's best friend is a herbalist, and she sat me down one day after school, and she kind of went over my diet, and we talked for a while, and she suggested some things to change my diet. Not that I was eating badly, but I am half French, and I was eating a lot of bread and dairy, cheese, and I'm also half American, so I was eating cereals and milk in the morning. And these are things like bread is inflammatory, and something like milk is incurs mucus, and so it's really best to avoid these herbs if you're feeling down or fighting something off. And this, along with a herbal preparation that the herbalist made, enabled me to get better really quickly. And since then I've been fascinated by medicinal plants and their ability to heal. Herbalism is definitely, it's something that people have been studying for years and years and years, but I just want to preface this video with the fact that none of the information here has been, tested or by the FDA, and I'm not treating, curing, or diagnosing any diseases here. I'm just telling you guys what I use on a day-to-day / whenever I kind of feel the need for an immune boost, what I incorporate into my routine. So I'm going to start off with some really simple things. I bet you guys all know what this is. This is garlic, and it is an amazing plant for everything. Not only is it antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, this thing has got so many properties, and it's just so cool that it's individually packaged in these little seeds, basically. Well, they're not seeds, but in these little bulbs, I should say. I don't know why I call them seeds. In these individual little bulbs, and that they can deliver so much potent medicine. So garlic is great. I traveled around the world with my brother for a year, and I had a really small medicine cabinet with herbs that I could take with me. And I didn't even have to take garlic with me. I could find it anywhere, at markets, supermarkets, and it stays good. It's so potent that it stays good for a really long time. Garlic is something that one of my herbalist teachers told me a while ago about as something that I should always try to have on hand. She used to do like first aid care and things in really, really remote places in Africa, and she would always get her hands on some garlic and eat 1 clove a day every day while she was away, to avoid getting everything from like tummy bugs to malaria. This is what she did. I don't suggest you do this, but this is the way she used garlic. So how to use garlic? You gotta eat it raw if you want to maximize its potency. I know it's strong. The way to consume it is to actually so there are 2 ways. You can either take a knife and peel the sort of skin and chop it up into small pieces, or you can use one of those garlic presses and get the little pieces of garlic out. and you use a garlic press, and you can put it in mashed potatoes, on rice, on lentils, anything kind of with sustenance, with like some carbs, to try and temper the strong garlic odor and taste. And I mean, it's spicy or hot, whatever you want to call it. So garlic is one of those great herbs. I don't recommend putting it on bread, just because when I'm trying to boost my immune system or trying to fight off a cold or anything really, I don't consume wheat, because it just helps with, well, it doesn't help, it's inflammatory. And that's why I don't say put it on toast, even though that might be delicious. Really avoid bread when you are, trying to boost your immune system. So that's garlic. The second one is ginger. So ginger is another one of those things that you can eat raw. It's spicy and hot. You can put it in smoothies. When you are trying to boost your immune system, drinking fluids is really important. So this is kind of a nice one because it makes a nice tea that you can add honey to, or maple syrup or whatever. So what I do is, because ginger is really hard to grate, it's super stringy and makes a mess in your grater, and it's really hard to get out. So what I do, and I've started doing this here, is you just grab a knife and chop it up into smaller pieces, about, I don't know, what is this, like 1 or 2 centimeters wide. And what you can do is pop that in a pot and just boil the water and make yourself some ginger tea. If you want some anti-inflammatory properties added to that tea, you can add turmeric. Same thing, you can chop it up like this. Turmeric is a little bit easier to grate, it's not as stringy, so you could grate turmeric and add some ginger to a tea. And you can repurpose this, if you boil it once, it's so potent that you could even boil it another time and still get the ginger taste. So that is another one of my favorite, just because so many people have it on hand already, but I want to emphasize that raw is better. So a couple others, this is one that you might have as a culinary herb, just, on your front porch, in your garden, on your terrace if you live in a flat in the city. Rosemary. It smells amazing, there's a reason people cook with it, and there's a reason Mediterranean cultures, incorporate it into their diets, because it does have amazing antibacterial, antiviral properties. Same thing here, you can cut it up, eat it raw, throw it in a salad. You can also, cook with it, put it on some chicken or roasted potatoes. It's really nice that way. But it's just a great herb to have. I even use it if I have like red gums or something. I chew on it to help my gums. So it has so many different properties. Again, lots of you will already have it on hand. So that's rosemary, and then you can obviously buy it dry. This is a little pot that I have in my kitchen, just if I'm in a hurry and I want to add some rosemary to whatever dish I'm making. The other thing I want to talk about is Echinacea. So this is a dry plant that I have in here. It's just the Echinacea leaves. I actually make my own Echinacea medicine by making what we call a tincture. Some of you might be familiar with this. This is a holy basil one, but this is just an alcohol-based medicine, and I'd be happy to cover this in another video. But what you do is basically you add alcohol to the plant. This is another tincture I have going on here, and you let it sit for a while and then you get the tincture. But you can also buy it in the shop, in natural health food stores. They'll sell tinctures. So tinctures are fantastic, and Echinacea is really one you want to have on hand as an immune booster. Well, this is my recommendation. What else do we have here? I've got all my plants in front of me. You can't really see them. I'm trying to hide them so I don't have a messy table here. So I just want to cover antiviral plants real quick. Another antiviral plant is yarrow. So you might have noticed this beautiful plant behind me. It's dry with an amazing yellow color. This is yarrow. Achillea milliflorum in Latin. It is widely grown in Mediterranean climates. I live in Santa Cruz and it's all over the place. Low maintenance kind of landscaping plant that happens to have amazing properties when it comes to immune boosting properties. So the way I consume it is in form of a tincture. This one I bought at my local natural health food store, Staff of Life, and I just use drops. There are recommendations of how to take this on the bottle. I always have this one on hand as a plant, in addition to the other things I mentioned earlier, because it has such an array of properties. And I, obviously I use plants for more than just boosting my immune system. I actually treat everyday ailments that I might have. So Yarrow would be another fantastic one to have in hand. Now, I'm going to mention two things that you might not have heard of to be used medicinally. Maybe you have. They are getting quite popular. Some of you might know the author Michael Pollan that has really talked about these mushrooms. So two mushrooms that I want to recommend for their immune boosting properties: chaga and reishi. If we were doing this live, I would make you guess. Reishi is fantastic. So this is what it looks like. This is just kind of a strip of reishi. Reishi, so you can use the powdered form. In fact, a lot of trending coffee substitutes right now actually put medicinal mushrooms like reishi and chaga inside them. And so you could buy sort of a powdered coffee substitute, or you can make a tea with in its form like this, and it will taste like mushroom tea, kind of earthy. I wouldn't recommend buying it in this form. I would actually recommend buying it powdered and incorporating it with some sort of coffee alternative that you might like, even introducing it in cacao, or you can throw anything in smoothies these days, or people do, I should say. So reishi and chaga, I'll show you what this one looks like. It's not got these long strips, but it's kind of these, it looks like dirt. So chaga is another great one to have on hand, and it does have many different properties. Adaptogens would be something that I will talk about in another video as a trending topic for holistic wellness. So if you don't like a tea, you don't like the coffee substitute, buy a tincture. This is my favorite brand. It's called Host Defense by this amazing mycologist, Paul Stamets, that I really trust. His products are top notch. They are expensive. I don't even know if you can find these in Europe. We're talking like $35 for, a bottle this size, maybe even small. I haven't opened this one yet. This is amazing though. Honestly, if I'm ever sick, I always use this. Not only does it help boost my immune system, it also helps increase my energy. So if I'm feeling really tired, not necessarily sick, but just really tired, I take this tincture. It's got cordyceps, is the mushroom that really helps with, giving you energy. And it's sustained energy, so you're not going to get like a coffee, perk, but it will give you energy kind of throughout the day for a while, and it doesn't kick in right away. So this is my recommendation for taking mushrooms to boost your immune system. Literally says comprehensive immune support. It's amazing. So we've talked about mushrooms, some plants. I want to cover a plant that not only you can take internally, but that you can also take to clear your respiratory system, if your respiratory system needs to be cleared. So this is thyme. Thyme is great. It's not too spicy, so it's got kind of a soft, sweet smell to it. It's great in dishes, and it does come in many different forms. the way I use thyme to decongest is I take what I call a spigot. So this is a little spigot here, a little piece. And I grab my kettle, fill up my kettle with water, boil it. And I want to be ready with a bowl and a rag or a tea towel. And what I do is I put it around my head. I grab my bowl and my spigot of rosemary. It's going to be more than this. You're going to want, I don't want to cut my plant, but you take like a nice little bunch of rosemary, put it in your bowl, pour the boiling water over your bowl, and then you basically create this vapor chamber. So you really want to scooch so that your tea towel is all the way around the bowl, and then you just breathe in and out, and it's amazing. If I have congested lungs, like cough, or even like congested sinuses, I will do this 3 times a day, maybe even 4. Not only does it help sort of clear everything out, but it actually helps just give you energy and kind of wake you up. So I will do this with tea tree, with eucalyptus, with thyme, if I need to wake up and there's nothing that I can't take a nap because I'm too anxious, I just need to wake up because I have things to do, I will do an inhalation. It's amazing. Some people in the morning can have congestion. I know a lot of people that deal with like mold issues, and I used to in my old apartment, and I would do this in the morning just to clear it out. So that is thyme. Oh yes, this is what I want to mention. You might not always have plants on hand. So for something topical or something that's sort of, you know, that you want to inhale, you can use essential oils. This is an example of thyme essential oil that I have on hand. When I'm traveling, I have these tiny little vials. I have thyme. I also have tea tree and lavender because lavender's calming, and tea tree has antifungal properties. But anyways, coming back to thyme, so if you can do the same thing if you don't have thyme in as a real plant, and just pop like 2-3 drops of thyme in a bowl, do the same thing, boiling water, create this chamber, and it's amazing. I mean, really, it is. So that's it for today. I know that you guys have a lot more questions for me, but I'm going to keep it at that, keep it short and sweet, 20 minutes. I'm going to be doing more of these. Let me know if you have any topic suggestions, and I'd be happy to answer any questions via Instagram. The number one thing to help boost your immune system and be healthy is sleep and drinking lots of water and herbal teas if you fancy them more than water. I mean, really guys, sleep. The studies show it. It's the number one thing that you can do. So rest up, be healthy, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.